What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I'm about to make some sense out of this nonsense. Every once in a while, the liberal media will do something that highlights and gives a perfect example of why we call them the fake news. It's a training tape almost that they give to us to deprogram people who can't see it on face value. It's kind of like those pictures you used to see when you would go through the mall and they would say, look at the picture, and you'll look at the picture and you'll see one thing, and then they say, now stare at it long enough and you'll start to see something else. So you stare at the picture and all of a sudden you'll see maybe a animal in the background or something like that. Once you see that, you can't unsee it. It's almost like your brain says, you know what? I'm now able to decipher and compartmentalize and see through what I initially see and see the deeper meaning behind it, the deeper substance, the deeper motive, all of those things. And that's what I'm about to do by showing you guys this example from the Los Angeles Times. So they provided a training tape for me today, okay? So the clip is of President Trump at a rally, and he's talking about how the Democrats responded during the State of the Union. And it's entitled, Trump Calls Democrats Not Applauding Him Un-American. You hear that? Trump calls Democrats not applauding him un-American. So now, if I'm just your regular Joe sitting at home watching the boob tube, turn it on or click on it on YouTube, and I watch it and I see the title and I'm waiting for the punchline. I'm waiting to hear Trump get up there and say, all of those Democrats who heard my wonderful speech at the State of the Union and did not give me an applause, I'm chastising you. And guess what? Because you didn't applaud me, you're un-American. That's what I would expect, right? That's what the logical mind would expect to click on this. But let's see how they claim that Trump was chastising them because they didn't applaud him. And let's see if your brain catches it. Let's see. Here we go. Ready?
The day. Did anybody happen to see the State of the Union address? Right? Okay.
Yeah. Woo,
So I
woo, woo.
got good marks. But I said you have the lowest black unemployment in the history of our country. It was like, it was a game. You know, they play games. They were told, don't even make a facial movement. And I'm talking about, you have the lowest Hispanic unemployment in the history of our country. This isn't me saying, this is the charts, the polls. We have the lowest in the history of our country. Dead silence, not a smile. In fact, there was one guy, when I said the lowest African-American unemployment, he was sort of clapping, like, who was that guy? He's a nice guy. I think he was a reverend.
Yeah.
And he was, I wouldn't say it was exactly arousing, but he was putting his hands together. And I want to find out who he is. I'm going to send him a letter of thank you. And he was probably severely reprimanded. Don't you think, Rob? I think so, because he was the only one. So that means they would rather see Trump do badly, okay, than our country do well. That's what it means. It's very selfish. And it got to a point where I really didn't even want to look too much during the speech over to that side, because honestly, it was bad energy. No, it was bad energy. You're up there, you've got half the room going totally crazy, wild. They loved everything. They want to do something great for our country. And you have the other side, even on positive news, really positive news like that, they were like death. And un-American. Un-American. Somebody said treasonous. I mean, yeah, I guess why not?
Now, I hope y'all listen to the whole statement. So now, this is what I would expect to hear. The Democrats listened to my speech. It was wonderful. They didn't like it and they didn't applaud me. Therefore, they're un-American. Now, if you listen to what he just said, the Washington Post or LA, I guess the LA Times or whatever, yeah, I think that's who they are. The LA Times, okay? What they just did is they took that completely out of context. And for the bubblehead, they won't catch it. But for the learned, for the people with an eagle eye, the person that can look through all of the disinformation and manipulation and stuff of the media, you say to yourself, well, wait a minute. Trump was not asking for them to applaud him. He was highlighting some positive things that benefit the people. And because the Democrats hate Trump so much, they were willing to sit there like evil parrots in a cage. We hate Donald Trump. We hate Donald Trump. And they refuse to applaud for things that benefits their constituencies, benefits black people, benefits Latino people, all the people that they claim they care about and love so much. But yet they sit there with their arms folded, pouting, mouths filled with hot air. And yet we're supposed to think that that's an American unifying group and a unifying and excited action of Congress to sit there when you hear good news that black unemployment's low, Hispanic unemployment's low, and you can't even applaud that. He didn't ask for an applause for him. He was talking about applauding the benefits that all of the people are receiving. That's what he wanted them to do. And he said they can't even applaud when something good happens, which I said it on my show the other day. If Donald Trump said, I'm going to feed all the homeless, they would be like, you know what? This guy, I mean, he just straight up disrespected the homeless people. How can you tell them you're going to give them food as if they needed his food? I mean, this guy wants them relying solely on him. He has the God complex. You know, they would immediately take the focus off of the homeless and the benefit that the homeless are receiving and somehow get you to focus on Trump, because their goal and objective is not to actually help people. It's to get in power and stay in power. And if they applaud anything positive that came from Trump's administration, then that validates him and lessens their chances of getting back in power. So now they got to hate on all of this good news just because it makes Trump look good. So he didn't want them to applaud him. He was talking about applauding the good news for the people. And yet they couldn't do it. And guess what? That behavior is un-American, because as Americans, when one win, we all win. Okay, we're not just some players on a squad where we're like, you know what? If I don't get no playing time, I hope we lose. That's not the team spirit. Okay. See, but the Democrats, they're not a team. They're all about individuality. They're all about identity politics. They're all about divide and conquer, all of these things. So they could give a care less about whether people benefited from Trump's administration or not. They would be willing to see us go in recession. They would be willing to see our economy completely crash. They would be willing to see our country torn apart through all types of discord, rumors of racism, sexism, misogyny, xenophobia, transphobia, homophobia, all the phobias. They would rather see all of that than to see us look at each other as Americans. That's what they're about. And this type of propaganda is a part of that agenda as well. When you take a clip that, if people understand context, if they got just a little bit of phonics in them, they will be able to say, wait a minute, it didn't sound as if he was saying praise me. He was saying give praise to the benefits that the people are receiving. And if you can't do that, you're garbage, which they didn't do it. So they're garbage. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. I had to expose that. Clip ran across my timeline. I watched it and was like, wait a minute. The title and the actual clip don't line up. And I need to bring it to light. Need to expose it. That's right. Disinfect it on it. Clean it up. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30 live on YouTube and on my radio blog talk show. Also, you can catch me tonight. I'm going to go live on Facebook with the amazing Lucas. It'll be 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, and then 6 o'clock Pacific time. So check that out. We're going live on Facebook. If you're not my Facebook friend or you don't follow me, go ahead and click on the link below and you can find me on Facebook as well. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button because people are getting unsubscribed. And then you got to hit the notification button for all the time, because they got like 3 buttons now. They're kind of playing with you, making you, well, which one do I push? Well, push the one that gives you all the notifications. And then finally, check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like something, click on the link below and you'll get a 20% discount by putting my name in the promo code Kevin. If you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's a link in the bottom as well. And that's about it. All right. See you guys next time in Kevin's Corner. God bless.